The topic before us is what are the disadvantages of using a barter system? While the barter system has many benefits, it also suffers from many limitations. We will now discuss the same one by one. First is lack of a common measure of value. It can be difficult to determine the exact value of goods or services to be exchanged. For example, there is a farmer who is having some apples. Now, it can be difficult how many apples or how many kg of apples will be equal to 1 gallon of milk. That is how much quantity of apples or how much apples in numbers should be given to the other person in exchange in return of 1 gallon of milk. The person who is having apples may be asking for 2 gallons of milk in return of specified number or specified weight of apples, but the other person may be ready to offer only 1 kg. So it is very difficult to have the common measure of value in the case of barter system. If it is the current situation, in the current scenario, we have assigned the value to each goods services in currency. If we want to purchase say milk, it may be say worth $2 per liter. But in the past or in the case of barter system, it is very difficult to arrive at the exact value of the goods at which the goods can be exchanged. Second limitation or disadvantages is double coincidence of wants. It means that both the persons should have the things which the other person wants. It means that suppose I am having rice and I want wheat. A person wants wheat. Here B person has wheat but wants sugar. So this transaction or the exchange of goods can be possible only when both the persons have the things which the other person wants. That is, A person should have which the B wants and the B person should have which the A wants. Only then the exchange of goods can take place. If two persons are having different wants, then the transaction or the exchange of goods and services cannot take place. Next disadvantage of barter system is indivisibility of certain goods. Certain goods cannot be divided into small parts. How? We understand the same with the help of an example. Suppose there is a farmer who wants to exchange his cow in return of wheat. So the person, this person may be having say only 50 kg wheat, but here cow is not divisible. So how the transaction will take place? The exchange of goods will not be in a position because the cow is an indivisible animal. It is a large animal. In the case of large goods, divisibility is not possible. They are indivisible. If the goods or the things are in small, that is, say, sugar, rice, or other crops, they are divisible. They can be divided into small quantities. But in the case of big items, it is may become difficult to exchange the goods with other persons. Now, the fourth point is barter system is inefficient and time consuming, especially if multiple parties are involved. We have so far learnt that barter system is a system where the goods or services are exchanged between two parties without the use of money. But we must understand that in the case of barter system, more than two persons may also be involved in the exchange of goods and services. But as the number of persons increase, to implement the exchange of goods and services becomes difficult. The persons which are involved in exchange of goods and services may not arrive at the rate at which goods and services should be exchanged. At what rate? Because if the number of goods are to be exchanged are many, because the persons involved are many, each person is having one good to be exchanged. So when the number of persons increase, so the exchange of goods between many persons becomes difficult. A particular person may be ready to offer things, but the other person may be wanting some more. We will try to understand the same with the help of an example. Suppose there is a person A, another person B, this is C. This is a farmer. A is a farmer. He is having apples, surplus apples, and he wants honey. Now B is a beekeeper who has bee, surplus bee. So now B person wants to sell milk, wants to purchase milk to in return of the honey. He is having honey. So now C person is also a dairy farmer. He is having surplus milk, but he wants apples. So from the perusal of this, A person is having apples, wants honey. B is having surplus honey, but he wants milk. So you will see that the exchange of goods is not possible between any two persons, because the other person is not having that goods which can be exchanged in return. Here you can see that A person wants honey. He wants to give apples and wants honey. He is ready to offer apples in exchange. But the person who is having honey, he desires or wants milk. So the exchange of goods is very difficult in such a case. It may be possible that A person gives his goods, A person gives his goods to person C. C person gives his goods to milk to B, and B person gives his goods to C. So such type of scenario is possible, but the exact quantity which the particular person has to give it to another person is a cause of, maybe a cause of disagreement, and to arrive at the consensus for all the persons, to arrive at the fair value of each of their produced goods, can be a time consuming. It can be cause of also disagreement, and it may also be possible that the exchange may not take place at all between any of these persons, because they may not arrive at any fair value with respect to the exchange which a person should give it to other person. Next is lack of store of value. Suppose a person is having wheat. This is a farmer who is having surplus wheat. He wants blankets. So he will have to find the person who is ready to accept wheat in return for blankets. Firstly, he will have to find out the same. Now, it will also be a problem that the person who is having blanket may not be ready to give the fair value to the wheat. He may be offering, say, 10 kg wheat. He may be asking for 10 kg wheat, but the farmer who is to give wheat is ready to offer, say, 8 kg of wheat in return for one blanket. It may be possible that the, they may not arrive at consensus so that the exchange may take place. But the farmer on one side, the person who is having blanket may keep it in store and will be in a position to exchange the goods, exchange the blanket at a later date with the wheats. But the person who is having wheat may not store it for longer period of time, because wheats, or if the person is having, say, vegetables, it cannot be stored for indefinite period, because it may, the value of the wheat or the value of the crop may deteriorate. Here the benefit of money comes. If the medium of change is money, it can be stored, and we can say we sell our wheat, say, for $100, we can store $100 in our locker or in at any other place, which we can use to purchase the required item at a later date. But in the case of wheat, the wheat is a perishable item, or the crop is a perishable item, and we may not, the farmer may not get the fair value with the passage of time, or the farmer may not be having enough space or the proper space to store wheat. Next is limited geographic reach. Barter system is suitable for local region, local area. It is not suitable for international trade or long distance trade. Next is no deferred payments. Suppose if we talk about the current situation, we can buy a house by taking loan from the banks. Current scenario. House buying on bank loan. That is, we can buy the house by taking loan from the bank, and we can pay for the same in installments by way of currency, by way of internet banking or whatever other means. But if we talk about the barter system, there is problem with respect to deferred payments. Sometimes it may be case of much big problem. How it happens? Suppose there is a person A. He wants his house to be constructed. There is a person B who is a laborer. Now, A person wants house to be constructed. This is a laborer and he wants, say, wheat. A person has wheat. Now the B person is having services to be offered. He can he give his services as a laborer or to construct the house. So both of the persons arrive at a consensus that a B person will construct the house of A. B person will construct the house of A, say within 2 months, and in return A will give him, say, 100 kg wheat. B starts doing his work of constructing the house, and say after 2 months house is fully constructed. But in the meanwhile, weather conditions become very bad and the production of wheat does not come up to the expectations of A. That is, we can say that A person was hoping that the his crop will give a yield of 200 kg, but because the weather conditions were not proper, there were excess rains or excess heat, the production was not proper and the actual production was, say, only 50 kg. So in case of A was thinking that he will give 100 kg to B, that is the laborer, and he will keep 100 kg for himself so that he can eat the same for his domestic use. But when the production has decreased drastically, now the A is not in a position to give 100 kg. B was thinking that he will get 100 kg of wheat and he will be in a position to use the same in future. Now, here B has given his services as a laborer, but A is not in a position to give the goods in exchange because the weather conditions were not proper. Here the problem comes. Had it been the case of use of money, the A farmer, B person would have taken the money on daily basis and A person might have sold his wheat. So this type of deferred payment system is not suitable in the case of barter system. If the money system was in force or barter system was not in force but money was being used as a medium of exchange, it might be possible that A person would promise that as I am not in a position to give you a money at present, if money was being used, then in that case A person would have stated that I will give you $1,000 for constructing the house, but as I am not in a position, I will give you interest at the rate 10% per annum. But it is possible only in the case when the money is being used as a medium of exchange. So deferred payment is difficult to be implemented in the case of barter system. So thanks for watching. If you like our course, please spare some time to give a star rating our course.